Hello, I'm Chris, and today I would like to talk to you about genetically modified foods. Eating healthy has been a key priority for everyone, well, in the world, I guess, you know, through my opinion anyway. I like to eat healthy, and I know that most of you guys, especially you guys watching this, would like to eat healthy or try to eat healthy. So this goes in correlation with what I had to talk about today with genetically modified foods. The common dairy cow is injected with a growth hormone to increase its milk production. That hormone has been found to cause different types of cancers as well as a number of other health hazards. This hormone has been banned in Canada and Europe, but sadly, in America, this hormone linked to 3 to 4 times higher cancer rates, and it was approved by the FDA in 1993 after being tested for 90 days on 30 rats. Today, according to the American Cancer Society, we are seeing the long-term effects of drinking this potent milk. Before the genetically modified food explosion, only 1 in 11 individuals had cancer. Today, 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women will develop cancer, and nearly half of you can expect it in your lifetime. Today, nearly 90% of all foods in your local grocery store are genetically modified. The problem here is that genetically modified foods are hardly ever tested before consumed. They have a number of associated health problems, and they are not labeled so that you can't choose not to buy them. Pretty interesting, huh? So this Thursday, or last Thursday rather, opponents of genetically modified food celebrated a big victory. They managed to get a majority of American food company to do something it didn't feel was necessary, just because public pressure had mounted to the point where resistance took more energy than what it was worth. The company is General Mills, maker of America's most iconic cereal brands, which found a way to make a line of Cheerios without any genetically modified ingredients. I think that's pretty impressive. Consumers who believe they have a right to know whether their food contains genetically modified ingredients are pressing lawmakers, regulators, and voters to require labels on altered foods. But even if they succeed, experts say there's no guarantee that labels identifying genetically engineered food would ever appear on packages. A variety of rules and regulations control the words that appear on food packages. Such rules must be balanced against companies' constitutional rights and protected for their commercial speech. It's the job of the Food and Drug Administration to enforce the various rules. Labels must carry an accurate name for the food, as well as its weight and manufacturer, a list of ingredients, and since 1990, that panel of calories and a breakdown of basic nutrients that some people pore over and others vitally ignore. What that means is some people look at the nutritional panel and really pay attention to it, and others don't. Consumers have the right to know when a food contains something new that makes it material different, don't you think? Such as an allergen or an unexpected nutrient. Soybean variants that are genetically engineered to contain high amounts of monounsaturated fat, oleic acid, must bear labels that make that properly clear. But there is no requirement that food producers use those labels to say how they rose the oleic acid levels, according to the FDA. They could have done that through conventional breeding or by irradiating plant tissue to create mutations, or by fusing cells together in a dish, or with genetic engineering. Courts have ruled that forcing companies to label GM products violates their First Amendment rights for speech. In a 1996 case, a federal appeals court blocked a Vermont law that required dairy producers to label milk from cows that had been treated with a growth hormone then made by genetically engineered bacteria. The hormone helped cows produce more milk, but the milk itself was the same as milk from untreated cows. The FDA determined because the law required labels to contain information that wasn't material to the product, it was unconstitutional. The Second Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in a 2-1 decision. Not material. Think about that for a minute. Not material. Don't you think that a carcinogenic way to manufacture something that we eat on a daily basis is material? I do. Labels can be required only if they alert consumers to a change that affects a food's composition or nutrition, its physical properties, such as shelf life, or the qualities that influence the sensory experience of smelling, tasting, and eating, the FDA says. It is not a definition that sits well with all, and I don't think that it should. Andrew Kimbrell, Executive Director of the Washington-based advocacy group Center for Food Safety, said the approach reflects 19th century science. He means outdated science. Science that we used to use but hasn't caught up with today's science, basically. This group has petitioned the FDA to update its rules so that any product created via genetic engineering would be considered altered enough to require a label. Such a change would also give companies more leeway to label their products as free of genetic modified ingredients. Today, they can do so only if the label doesn't imply that there's something wrong with the GM foods or that GMO-free foods are superior, although many companies skirt the rules. It's pretty interesting that these companies are getting away with, well, in a sense, homicide, my opinion anyway. It's not a factual statement of homicide, but they're killing us with these genetically altered foods, and every case is different. It's solely based on a case-by-case basis, but you guys get the picture that, you probably need to do a little bit more research and find out what you're eating, because what you could eat could possibly kill you. So this concludes my speech today. Thank you guys for listening or watching. Have a great day.